Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow seekers of wisdom, let us gather our minds in quiet reflection as we consider the notion their eyes spoke before they did. Human beings, by nature, are complex creatures, constantly balancing the desires of the mind with the impulses of the body. Yet, when we examine the essence of human interaction, it is often the eyes that speak before words do. Long before we utter a single phrase or form a sentence, our eyes have already communicated our innermost thoughts, emotions, and intentions. This silent form of communication transcends verbal language, and it is here that we witness the profundity of human connection. In Stoic philosophy, the eyes become a window into a deeper understanding of the self and the world around us. Eyes are powerful instruments of nonverbal communication. They do not lie, at least not in the way words often do. While we may choose our words carefully, our eyes reveal our immediate emotional state. A glance can reveal whether we are filled with joy, sorrow, anger, or compassion. The Stoics would argue that the true measure of a person is not in their words, which can be manipulated or altered to suit a purpose, but in their actions, and their eyes are the first to reveal the truth of these actions. In a single moment, a person's gaze can convey volumes about their character, their fears, or their desires, all without uttering a word. The power of the eyes in communication is something the Stoics understood deeply. In their teachings, they emphasized the importance of self-awareness, encouraging individuals to focus not only on their actions, but also on their emotions and reactions. When we engage with another person, it is not simply the words we say that convey our message, but the way we look at them. A kind look speaks louder than a kind word. An angry glare reveals more about the state of our inner thoughts than a harsh comment ever could. The eyes are an honest reflection of what is going on inside us, offering a truth that is often more direct and immediate than our words could express. Moreover, in Stoicism, there is an emphasis on controlling one's emotions and desires to achieve inner peace. However, emotions are often difficult to suppress, and they often leak out through the eyes. The Stoic sage, someone who has mastered the art of controlling their emotions and actions, might still be betrayed by the subtle shifts in their gaze. A fleeting look of sadness or frustration, however small, can reveal the emotions that the Stoic might be trying to suppress. This reality reminds us that while we may control our speech, our body, and particularly our eyes, often speak before we do, the eyes become a mirror of the internal struggle, showing the work that is being done in the pursuit of virtue, and at times, the failure to remain virtuous. In this sense, the eyes provide an opportunity for growth and self-reflection. If we are truly committed to self-improvement, we must observe not just the words we speak, but also the silent language of our eyes. What do our eyes reveal about us? Do they reflect calmness, patience, and wisdom, or do they betray anxiety, anger, or impatience? The Stoic practice of self-reflection becomes more profound when we pay attention to the subtle cues our eyes give us. In examining our gaze, we can understand how well we are living in alignment with our values and our principles. The eyes also hold power in the realm of empathy and human connection. It is through the eyes that we often connect most deeply with others. A compassionate look can convey understanding and solidarity in ways words cannot. In times of suffering, a simple glance can communicate more than 1,000 comforting words. Stoicism values understanding others and practicing empathy, and the eyes are a means to that end. They speak a language that words sometimes fail to express, offering a connection that transcends the limits of verbal communication. In conclusion, the eyes speak before the lips ever do, conveying truths that words cannot capture. They reflect our emotions, our struggles, and our capacity for empathy. In Stoic philosophy, we are reminded that our true character is not merely revealed by what we say, but by how we act and how we express ourselves through the subtle language of our eyes. They are the silent messengers of our inner world, and in their gaze we find an unspoken truth that transcends the limitations of speech. Therefore, let us be mindful of the message our eyes communicate, for in their silent expression they reveal the depth of our humanity. In the Stoic philosophy, one of the central tenets is the idea of living in the present moment, free from the distractions of the past and the anxieties of the future. This focus on the here and now is not merely an abstract concept, but a practical guide for how to engage with the world around us in a meaningful way. It is in this present moment, in the fleeting seconds that we often overlook, that the eyes become an incredible tool for understanding our true nature. When we look at another person, it is not just the words they speak or the actions they perform that communicate their state of being, but the direct connection we experience through their gaze. Their eyes, more than anything else, reflect the authenticity of the present moment, bringing us into direct contact with the soul's deepest truths. In the fast-paced world we live in, it is easy to become caught up in the turbulence of the past or the future. We often reflect on what has been, rehashing old wounds or celebrating past triumphs, and we frequently dwell on what may come, lost in worry or anticipation. Yet when we gaze into the eyes of another person, we are reminded of the incredible power of the present moment. A person's eyes are not occupied with past regrets or future hopes. They are an expression of what is happening right now. A single glance can reveal whether a person is fully present and engaged, or whether their thoughts are drifting somewhere else entirely. In this way, the eyes, as a non-verbal form of communication, help us reorient ourselves toward the present, grounding us in the immediacy of human connection. Consider a person you meet who looks directly into your eyes. In that brief moment, you know something about them. It is not their words that first connect you to them, but the clarity of their gaze. The eyes show the depth of someone's attention, their openness to the present moment, and their willingness to be fully engaged. In a world where distractions are ever present, the act of looking someone in the eye becomes an act of profound presence. It says, "I am here with you now." It is a reminder that, despite the noise and distractions of life, there is value in pausing and being present with the person in front of us. For the Stoic, this focus on the present is essential for achieving tranquility and wisdom. The eyes provide an immediate reflection of a person's state of mind, something that words cannot always convey. When we look into someone's eyes, we can see whether they are calm and composed, or whether they are caught up in the turmoil of their thoughts and emotions. A Stoic understands that inner peace comes not from controlling external circumstances, but from mastering the ability to remain steady in the face of life's challenges. The eyes reveal whether we have succeeded in this pursuit of inner peace, or whether we are still slaves to our passions. Moreover, the act of truly seeing another person is a form of living in the present moment. Too often, we engage with the world and the people around us through a lens of preconceived notions or distractions. We are not truly seeing others for who they are in that moment, but the eyes invite us to do just that. They require us to be present, to look beyond the surface and perceive the true essence of a person. In the simple act of making eye contact, we are reminded of the importance of embracing the present and engaging fully with what is in front of us. In a deeper sense, the eyes remind us that the present moment is not just a fleeting instant to be passed by, but a sacred opportunity to engage with life as it unfolds. The Stoics often spoke of the importance of accepting things as they are and making the best of each moment. When we truly see another person through their eyes, we are given the opportunity to engage with them in a way that transcends the limitations of speech and action. It is through the eyes that we can connect most directly with another soul, sharing a moment of mutual presence that is free from the distractions of the past or the future. In conclusion, the eyes serve as a powerful reminder of the significance of the present moment. They bring us into direct contact with what is real and immediate, inviting us to leave behind the distractions of the past and the future. The Stoics would encourage us to embrace this moment with clarity and focus, recognizing that true peace and wisdom come not from worrying about what has been or what will be, but from living fully in the here and now. Through the eyes, we can find the beauty of the present, connecting with others and ourselves in a way that words cannot fully express. The Stoic philosophy teaches us the importance of mastering our emotions and desires. According to Stoic thought, emotions, while natural, should not control us. Instead, we should seek to understand them, acknowledge them, and ultimately direct them in ways that align with virtue and reason. The Stoic sage strives for inner tranquility, a state in which external events and the passions that often arise from them no longer disturb their peace of mind. However, despite the Stoic ideal of emotional control, there is an undeniable reality. Our eyes often betray us, revealing emotions and internal states that we may be attempting to suppress or control. The eyes, in their silent yet expressive power, are a reflection of our inner world. They are often the first to show what we are truly feeling, even when we are able to mask our emotions with words or actions. While we may speak with calmness, our gaze can reveal anxiety, frustration, or even joy. In this sense, the eyes provide a window into the raw, unfiltered truth of our emotional state, regardless of the mental fortitude we believe we possess. The Stoics acknowledge that while we can strive to control our thoughts and responses, the body, especially the eyes, has a way of showing the truth of our internal struggles, often before we are aware of them ourselves. Take, for instance, the moment of anger. A Stoic would attempt to practice restraint, to recognize the source of anger and choose not to act upon it, understanding that unchecked anger disrupts inner peace. Yet, even as they may keep their speech composed, their eyes can give them away. A sharp, narrowed gaze, clenched brows, or a fleeting look of frustration can reveal the internal turmoil that words may hide. This is not a failure of Stoicism, but a reminder that emotions are not easily controlled. The eyes, in all their expressiveness, show that the battle against emotional impulses is ongoing and that our internal state is always in motion, even if we are able to maintain an outward appearance of composure. The Stoic ideal, then, is not to rid ourselves of emotion, but to cultivate mastery over it. It is about recognizing the emotion in its raw form, understanding its origin, and choosing a path of virtue in response. The eyes, in this context, become a tool of self-awareness, a mirror that reflects the work we are doing internally. When we notice the subtle changes in our gaze, we can assess the state of our inner thoughts and emotions. Are we truly at peace? Have we allowed the winds of external circumstances to influence us? The eyes serve as a checkpoint, a signal that we can use to gauge our emotional state and determine if we are living in accordance with the Stoic principles of reason and virtue. Furthermore, the eyes are not only windows to our own emotional state, but to that of others as well. They reveal much about the inner world of those around us, often before words or actions can do so. In Stoicism, there is an emphasis on understanding the emotions and struggles of others, on approaching human interactions with empathy and compassion. The eyes, with their silent expression, allow us to perceive the emotional landscape of those we encounter. A gentle look of sadness, a flash of joy, or a look of concern can provide insight into another person's state of mind, even if they do not speak of it. In this way, the eyes are an important tool for practicing Stoic virtues, especially empathy and understanding. It is through the eyes that we can recognize the shared humanity that binds us all. While the Stoics teach us to be mindful of our own emotional state, they also encourage us to observe the emotions of others without judgment. The eyes speak a language that transcends words, offering us a deeper understanding of the human experience. By learning to read the emotions reflected in another's gaze, we can respond with wisdom, offering kindness, support, or space as needed. In this way, the eyes provide not just insight into our own internal state, but also the emotional currents that flow between us and others. In conclusion, the Stoic journey toward emotional mastery acknowledges that our emotions, while powerful, are not to be ignored. The eyes, in their silent expression, reveal the truth of our emotional lives, both the struggles we face within and the empathy we feel toward others. They speak before our words do, reminding us that the work of mastering our emotions is ongoing. The Stoic sage strives for calm and clarity, and through the awareness of what is reflected in the eyes, both their own and those of others, they can better navigate the complexities of the human experience with wisdom and compassion. In Stoic philosophy, one of the most vital practices is self-reflection, the continual process of examining one's thoughts, actions, and emotions in the pursuit of wisdom and virtue. This practice is not simply an intellectual exercise, but an ongoing, personal journey to align oneself with the ideals of reason and nature. Through self-reflection, a Stoic strives to understand their true nature and assess whether their actions are guided by wisdom or by the sway of unchecked passions. Interestingly, our eyes play an essential role in this process. They serve as a mirror that reflects the state of our inner world, offering insight into the progress we have made, or the areas where we still struggle on the path toward self-mastery. The eyes are a reflection of what is happening within us at any given moment. They reveal our emotional state, our intentions, and even the level of awareness we have about ourselves. A person who is calm and grounded may have a serene, steady gaze, while someone overwhelmed by anxiety, anger, or fear might have eyes that dart restlessly or glint with tension. This nonverbal communication is often more honest and immediate than anything we could express with words. The eyes speak volumes about what lies beneath the surface. This is why the Stoics would argue that one cannot simply rely on external appearances to understand themselves or others. We must look deeper, using the eyes as a tool for self-assessment and self-awareness. The eyes also function as a direct link to our state of mind. When we are aligned with Stoic virtues, courage, wisdom, justice, and temperance, our eyes tend to reflect a sense of clarity and purpose. There is stillness in our gaze, an indication that our thoughts and emotions are not being driven by the whims of external circumstances. Conversely, when we are moved by the passions, be it desire, fear, envy, or pride, our eyes can betray us, revealing the turmoil within. The narrowing of the eyes in frustration or the intense gaze of obsession all point to the imbalance between our internal thoughts and our external reactions. Through the eyes, we witness the outcome of our inner struggle. Have we maintained our equanimity, or have we allowed ourselves to be overtaken by forces beyond our control? It is through this process of self-observation that we can assess the true nature of our emotions and thoughts. Just as the Stoic sage takes the time to reflect on their daily actions and reactions, the eyes offer us a moment of pause to assess whether we are living in accordance with our values. When we observe our own gaze in moments of contemplation, we can ask ourselves whether it reflects the peace of a well-examined life or the disquiet of a mind ruled by impulsive emotions. Are we at ease with our choices, or do we sense a conflict within? The eyes serve as a mirror, allowing us to witness our internal landscape and evaluate the alignment between our external actions and our internal philosophy. Furthermore, the eyes serve as a powerful tool for recognizing the areas of growth and development that still require attention. Self-reflection in Stoic practice involves not only recognizing when we have acted in accordance with virtue, but also identifying the moments where we have fallen short. When we look into our own eyes, we might see signs of self-doubt, frustration, or restlessness, subtle cues that indicate areas where we need to cultivate greater virtue. Perhaps in our gaze, we notice a lingering sadness that has not yet been addressed or a flicker of resentment that we have yet to resolve. These moments of reflection provide an opportunity for growth. The Stoics would urge us to meet these moments not with judgment or self-pity, but with curiosity and compassion, recognizing them as invitations to refine our character. Self-reflection through the eyes also extends beyond our own internal landscape and into our interactions with others. When we engage with someone else, their eyes offer a mirror of sorts to our own emotional state. The way we perceive someone's gaze can influence our understanding of their thoughts and feelings, and in turn, we can evaluate how our own inner state affects our behavior toward them. Do we engage with kindness and patience, or do we respond with irritation or defensiveness? Our eyes reveal the sincerity of our interactions, just as the eyes of others tell us something about how they are experiencing the world in that moment. By observing the eyes of both ourselves and others, we gain insight into the deeper emotional currents that guide our relationships. In conclusion, the practice of self-reflection in Stoic philosophy is inextricably linked to the awareness and observation of our eyes. Our gaze, in both the moments of solitude and in our encounters with others, reveals the state of our inner world, whether we are at peace or at war with ourselves. Through self-reflection, we examine our actions, thoughts, and emotions, and in doing so, we cultivate wisdom and virtue. The eyes, ever honest in their expression, are a key tool in this process. They offer us a mirror to understand our true selves, guide us toward greater self-awareness, and help us stay on course as we strive to live in alignment with the Stoic ideals of reason, virtue, and harmony with nature. The Stoic philosophy is grounded in the idea that we are all part of a larger, interconnected whole. Our actions, our thoughts, and our emotions do not exist in isolation. They are part of a vast network of human experience that transcends the individual. One of the core virtues in Stoicism is empathy, the ability to understand and share in the feelings of others. In this way, the eyes become a bridge, allowing us to connect with others on a deeper, more meaningful level. Through the eyes, we gain insight not only into another person's emotions and experiences, but also into their humanity. This connection, formed through silent but powerful communication, is at the heart of what it means to be a part of the human community. When we look into someone's eyes, we are often able to perceive emotions and states of mind that may not be immediately obvious through words or actions. A fleeting glance, a prolonged gaze, or a subtle shift in expression can reveal more about a person's inner world than a verbal exchange ever could. In this sense, the eyes speak a language that transcends words, a language that is rooted in shared human experience. The ability to look into another person's eyes and recognize their suffering, joy, or concern is a form of empathy. It requires us to engage with the world not just intellectually but emotionally, to open ourselves up to the reality of what others are experiencing in that moment. The Stoics would remind us that the cultivation of empathy is not a passive act. It is not simply about recognizing the emotions of others, but also responding with appropriate action. Our ability to understand another person's feelings through their eyes calls us to act with wisdom, kindness, and justice. If we see pain in someone's eyes, we are called to offer support or understanding. If we see joy, we are invited to share in that joy and celebrate the moment together. The eyes, in their profound ability to communicate emotion, are a call to action, prompting us to respond to others with virtue and compassion. Moreover, empathy through the eyes requires attentiveness. In a world filled with distractions, it is easy to overlook the subtleties of human expression, to rush through interactions without truly seeing the person in front of us. But Stoicism encourages us to be present, to live in the moment, and to engage deeply with others. When we look into another person's eyes, we must do so with intention, allowing ourselves to fully connect with their experience. This requires vulnerability, the willingness to acknowledge that we are not separate from others, that their suffering or joy has an impact on us. It is through this act of empathy, where we see and feel alongside another, that we are reminded of our shared humanity. In the context of the Stoic practice of understanding the world as interconnected, the eyes also remind us that we are all affected by the same fundamental human experiences. Whether we experience grief, joy, or fear, we are united by the emotions that define our lives. By practicing empathy through the eyes, we come to understand that we are not isolated in our individual struggles. The suffering we see in others is not alien to us. It is part of the same human condition. Similarly, the joy and happiness reflected in someone's eyes are not distant or unattainable. They are shared experiences that we can also partake in. This understanding fosters a deeper sense of connection, encouraging us to act with greater generosity and compassion toward others. Additionally, the eyes serve as a reminder that our own internal state is visible to others. Just as we can perceive the emotions of others through their gaze, our eyes offer the same insight into our own emotional landscape. When we are aware of this, we recognize the responsibility we have in how we present ourselves to the world. If we are closed off, defensive, or disengaged, others may read that in our eyes. On the other hand, if we are open, calm, and compassionate, our gaze will reflect that as well. This awareness of how we communicate with our eyes serves as a tool for greater emotional intelligence, helping us to navigate relationships with wisdom and mindfulness. In a broader sense, the connection through the eyes is a way of practicing the Stoic principle of living in accordance with nature. We are all part of a larger whole, and through empathy, we become more attuned to the experiences of others. When we meet someone's gaze, we are not merely seeing them as an individual, but as part of the larger web of humanity. We recognize that their emotions are just as valid and real as our own, and in that recognition, we cultivate a deeper sense of connection and solidarity. In conclusion, the eyes play a central role in cultivating empathy and human connection, key components of Stoic philosophy. Through the eyes, we perceive the emotions and experiences of others, allowing us to respond with wisdom and compassion. The silent language of the eyes invites us to engage with others on a deeper level, to recognize our shared humanity, and to act with the virtue of understanding. By practicing empathy through the eyes, we not only enhance our relationships with others, but also deepen our connection to the world as a whole, living in harmony with the interconnected nature of existence. The eyes, in their silent and often subtle expression, hold a profound capacity to reflect the true essence of the human soul. In Stoic philosophy, there is an understanding that our external actions, while important, are often less revealing than the quiet communication of our inner state. While we may choose our words with precision, the eyes reveal what is truly within our thoughts, our intentions, and the emotional currents running beneath the surface. The eyes speak a language that goes beyond mere words, offering a deeper, more authentic insight into who we are. This is not only important for understanding ourselves, but also for recognizing the deeper connections we share with others. The eyes, in many ways, serve as a key to understanding the balance of virtue and emotion, the guiding principles of Stoicism. When we observe the gaze of another person, we are offered a glimpse into their internal world. A simple glance, whether long or fleeting, can convey more than 1,000 words. It speaks not only of their emotional state, but also of their character, their experiences, and their connection to the present moment. It reveals whether they are at peace, agitated, open, or closed off. In this way, the eyes serve as an honest reflection of the person's true state, bypassing the filters of words and social norms that often veil our true feelings. In Stoic thought, this is significant because it points to the idea that our actions and outward appearances are less meaningful than the integrity of our inner world. The true measure of a person, according to the Stoics, is not the appearance they project to the world, but the clarity and harmony within their own soul. The eyes, by providing such a transparent window into this inner world, become a mirror for our personal journey toward virtue. Moreover, the eyes speak before the words ever do because they are the first form of communication we engage in. They allow us to connect with others on a level that transcends language or cultural differences. In a world where language can often be a barrier, the eyes remain a universal form of communication. A shared glance between two people can carry the weight of unspoken understanding, trust, or even love. Through the eyes, we are capable of expressing feelings that words might fail to articulate. In this way, the eyes hold the power to bring people closer, creating a bond that is felt rather than spoken. For the Stoic, this silent communication through the eyes serves as a reminder of the importance of mindfulness in our interactions with others. Stoic philosophy encourages us to be present in each moment, to engage fully with the world around us, and to approach each encounter with clarity and understanding. When we look into someone's eyes, we are offered an opportunity to see not just their outer appearance, but their deeper self. This call to be present is a practice of attentiveness, paying attention not only to what is being said, but also to the feelings and emotions being expressed in that quiet space between people. The connection between individuals through their eyes is also an essential aspect of empathy, another key virtue in Stoicism. Empathy allows us to see the world through another person's perspective, to understand their struggles and joys as our own. It is through the eyes that we can truly engage with another's experience, recognizing their humanity and sharing in their emotions. This empathetic connection helps us transcend our individualistic tendencies and recognize that we are all part of a greater whole. When we look into someone's eyes, we are reminded that their experiences are just as valid and real as our own. This awareness fosters compassion and understanding, both essential for a life guided by virtue. Additionally, the eyes allow us to examine our own internal state. They reflect not only the emotions of others, but also the state of our own mind and spirit. A person who is calm, grounded, and virtuous may have a gaze that is steady and peaceful, reflecting the tranquility of their soul. On the other hand, someone who is consumed by anger, fear, or pride may display a restless or intense gaze, betraying their inner conflict. In this way, the eyes become a tool for self-reflection, offering us insight into whether we are truly living in alignment with our values or whether we are being carried away by the tumult of unexamined emotions. The eyes, then, offer an honest evaluation of where we stand in our journey towards self-mastery, helping us to assess whether we are moving closer to our ideal of virtue or whether we have fallen astray. In conclusion, the eyes serve as a powerful and truthful means of communication, reflecting the true state of our inner being. In Stoic philosophy, this is significant because it emphasizes the importance of self-awareness and empathy in our interactions with the world. Our eyes reveal more about us than words or actions ever could, offering a window into our thoughts, emotions, and character. They speak before the lips ever do, offering an honest, unfiltered look into the soul. Through our eyes, we connect with others in ways that go beyond language, fostering empathy, understanding, and shared humanity. The eyes are a mirror to our inner state and a tool for self-reflection, helping us to stay true to our Stoic path of virtue, wisdom, and harmony with nature. In conclusion, the eyes serve as a profound and powerful reflection of the human experience, offering us a direct connection to our own inner state and to the emotions and intentions of others. Through Stoic philosophy, we are reminded that true wisdom and virtue lie not in external appearances or words, but in the clarity and integrity of our inner selves. The eyes, as silent communicators, allow us to transcend superficial exchanges and engage with the deeper aspects of life. They reveal the unspoken truths of our emotions, guiding us to greater self-awareness, empathy, and connection with the world around us. In recognizing the power of the gaze, we are encouraged to live fully in the present moment, to reflect on our actions and intentions, and to approach others with understanding and compassion. The eyes speak before words ever can, and in their quiet communication, they remind us of the profound human bond that unites us all, guiding us toward a life of wisdom, peace, and shared humanity.